I'm the best of both worlds. Palisa Msia is an entrepreneur, professional MC, model, actress, motivational speaker. Hello world, my name is Regina Mary and welcome to my voice. Please help me welcome Palisa Msia in studio.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
So amazing.
Thank you. This is an Afronic Chic original. I love representing African designers. So,
amazing.
darling.
Welcome to my voice.
Thank you.
Please have a seat. Wow, this dress is just gorgeous, as beautiful as you look.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much.
Amazing. So firstly, thank you so much for actually coming to my voice. It's such an honor to have you. I would like to confess to my viewers, she is my inspiration. So I am like really honored to have you on our show.
I'm honored to be here.
Thank you so much. So Palisa, we've got this tradition that we do. The first question we ask is, why did you accept our invite on My Voice?
Okay. I accepted the invitation because I've always said that in order for us to change people's mind about albinism, we have to rebrand it. We have to normalize it to people. So when I look at your show, I see you speaking to people from different professions, different walks of life, people that are making it, and the message is positive. So people will then get to see the person before they get to see the condition. Because some people honestly believe that when you have albinism, you can't be a lawyer, or you can't be a doctor, or you can't be an engineer. So this platform just shows people, and it normalizes it to people, and it rebrands it, which I think is key.
Amazing. So you use very powerful words there, positive, rebrand, and you see the person before the condition or anything else. As you see, this dynamic woman is here in person. Palisa, you're an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, an actress, a professional MC, and we talked about positivity. I mean, before we talk about your career now, how did you transform your journey? Like, can you please tell us a bit about your upbringing as a beautiful, dynamic, independent woman and as a woman with albinism? How did you how did you, just please share your story with us.
How did I embrace it?
Yes, thank you.
And finally accept myself and love myself the way that I was. It was a struggle, I won't lie to you. Going to school was difficult, and children can be mean.
Right.
And I struggled a lot in school. My family was great. I mean, my family explained my condition to me, so I knew exactly why I was different. And it got to a point in my family where I would even forget. You only remember when people want to go and play outside in the sun, and you still have to apply sunblock before you can do that.
Right.
So when I went to school, I went to 5 different schools in my life. So you can just imagine the trauma of having to start at a different school and facing the discrimination and whatever else that comes with it.
Right.
But when I was in a school in the Val called Val Christian School, that's when things changed for me.
Okay.
Kids would make fun of me all the time. I remember I would be going to assembly, the black kids would make fun of me. During break, the white kids would make fun of me, and I get stuck. Where do I belong? Because you've got this pale complexion, but you're black at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But the one time, after a very brutal incident at school, where they were mocking me, I spoke to one of my teachers, and she said something profound to me. At the time, I never thought how profound it was. And she said, she found me crying. She said, "Why are you crying?" I said, "They're calling me an albino." And she said to me, "Why would you cry when they call you what you are?" And I remember I thought, she's supposed to be on my side. She's supposed to protect me. Why would she say that? I went home. I called my mom. I had one of those Telkom phone cards.
Okay.
I finished the whole thing crying on the phone, still went to bed crying. Woke up the next morning, and I just remember feeling like I was done crying.
Okay.
Because crying wasn't working. Every time they made fun of me, I would cry. And they would do it again and again and again. So as young as I was, I understood that logic, that crying isn't working, so I need to try something different. So I knew it was going to happen again because it was a weekly occurrence.
Right.
And when it did, it was during break time. I was on the jungle gym, and white girls started making fun of me. So I went down the jungle gym, and I went straight to the leader of the group. You know, the mean girls always have a leader. And I said, "What's your problem?"
Right.
Now, what happens in a situation where there is a victim and somebody that preys on the victim, when you stand up for yourself, you scare them because they're used to you being a victim.
Right.
So when you stop playing your role of being a victim, it just causes an imbalance and they don't know how to react. So now she was startled, like, what did she just say? And I said, I have your skin and pointing at a black girl and their mind. So that means I have the best of both worlds. So what is your problem? And soon after that, word got around that this girl now has a mouth and she doesn't cry no more.
Right.
And they stopped. They found their next victim. So that's the thing about life. When you make that discovery that you are actually a victor, then you understand that you cannot be a victim.
Amazing.
It's not your destiny.
Amazing. So there's like, wow, especially the fact that you raised the point of school. There's so many kids out there that are actually dealing with bullying at school right now because of albinism and other reasons. So in most cases, it would be, maybe somebody's watching them, like, but they call me harsher words or they're doing this to me. How was it, just name callings that you went through, or was it more physical, or it was just name callings? And
oh my gosh, it was a lot. Back then, things were still tough. People still believed that being born with albinism was a curse.
right,
So you would see people spit in their t-shirt because they thought that you were contagious.
right,
So if they didn't do that, then they would turn to look like you. Sometimes on the bus, people don't want to sit next to you. So the bus will be full and other people will stand instead of sitting next to you.
wow.
You know, and people will make fun of you because when you're reading a book, because I used to love reading novels
Right.
on the bus, and you look too close, so people make fun of that. Why doesn't she wear glasses? But they don't understand that my condition is not corrected by glasses. I have nystagmus, and the glasses don't help improve my sight.
Right.
So what will happen is I'll be wearing glasses, but I'll still be looking at a book too close.
Definitely.
So I just decided to stop wearing glasses unless when I'm driving, right?
Right.
Which was also something that I overcame. I was told for years I'll never drive until I found the technology, and because of my die-hard attitude, I don't give up. So yeah, it was a lot of things. But the name calling was more persistent at school because that was the easy thing for them to do.
Amazing.
Yeah.
My die-hard persistence. So that one girl is sitting there and say, Palisa, I'm being bullied at school. What's the right way to approach this? Should I go fight? How do I stand up for myself? Do I just ask the question that you asked to my bully? Or are there other ways I could stand up for myself that might help me find my courage?
I mean, everybody's story is different, right? I don't know what anybody else goes through at school. I don't know what the situation is now. I don't know if it's as brutal as it was when I was in school, but I know it affects you the same way.
Right.
So you have to stand up for yourself. It's the only way. You have to, and it's hard. It's really hard, but you have to make that decision that today I'm going to stand up for myself. The biggest weapon against a bully is you standing up for yourself. The biggest weapon against somebody who derives some kind of pleasure from putting people down is you standing up for yourself. So you need to firstly look in the mirror and appreciate yourself for who you are. Accept yourself for who you are. And it's not going to be easy. You have to do it every day. Every day, tell yourself, I'm beautiful. I love myself. I wasn't a mistake. I'm a blessing to the world. I can do anything I put my mind to. Eventually, when you tell yourself over and over again, you start believing the message. But with the bullies, you have to stand up for yourself. I'm a human being just like you. I was just born with a condition, a lack of pigment. That's all it is. What is the issue?
Great. Would you like to explain further into that in terms of with albinism and the pigment thing? Most people don't understand it, the whole melanin thing. Do you have any further information you can share with us?
Oh, okay, yeah. Like I said, my family really taught me a lot about my condition, which is fantastic. So the only thing that's different with me is I was born without...
Us.
Oh, with us.
Talking about
I was born without... We were born
yes.
without pigment. Now, simply put, pigment is like coloring. So when people were allocated different colors, when people are dark, yellow bone, we didn't get coloring. So that's the simplest way that I can put it.
Right.
It's a lack of pigment, so that means you don't have color. It affects the skin, it affects the eyes, and it affects the hair. Not everybody with albinism has a sight condition, because not everybody with albinism has nystagmus or any other sight issue that is a part of the condition. So I know that's a very big misconception, that if you have albinism you can't see. And just for the record, we can see. We just have limited sight. This you can't see situation, you know.
Yes.
And that's how it affects the eyes. And then the hair, because you don't have pigment, then your hair doesn't have color. So that's why our hair is blonde. And the skin doesn't have pigment, so that's why we have this pale complexion.
Blonde and beautiful, by the way.
Yeah.
After hearing your journey, your upbringing, and knowing the woman you are today, where did the change happen? I know how you did it, but please tell the whole world who you are today and what steps you took to become the woman that you are today.
Okay. The first step that I took was on that playground when I was in grade 3, they call it now.
Wow.
And I stood up for myself. That was the turning point in my life, because when you make that stand, you make it permanently. It's not a once-off thing. So every school that I went to, I knew I'd have to make another stand. I knew someone was going to try and bully me, and I needed to stand up to them again. I had to do it 5 times. Remember, 5 different schools.
Right.
And with that, your confidence builds. When you start to love yourself and appreciate yourself and understand that you were created for a purpose. My purpose is to change people's lives. If I wasn't born with this condition, I wouldn't be a motivational speaker. I wouldn't be so driven to change people's lives. I wouldn't be an entrepreneur. I wouldn't be a Herbalife independent distributor helping people transform and reach their health goals through healthy nutrition. My purpose in life is to change people's lives, and the condition I have is the reason why I fulfill my purpose. Because here's the thing about being born with albinism. Even if people don't want to look, they'll look.
Yes.
So I don't need to draw a crowd or try and get noticed. You will notice me anyway. So I use that platform to help people.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So if people want to follow your work, contact you, somebody's watching out there and they say, I want to see your motivational talks, how do they get hold of you?
So I'm available on social media, on most of the social media platforms. On Facebook, I'm Palesa Musia. Musia spelled Mosia. I've got a personal page, which is unfortunately full right now. And then I've got a page that I've done specifically for my brand, which is Palesa Musia. So if you can't friend me, please follow my page, Palesa Musia, on Facebook. I've also got an Instagram account. It's at PMusia. That's PMOSIEA. And I've got a website, which is www.palesamusia.co.za. I'm also on WhatsApp and on Twitter as at PMusia.
So, Palesa, you talked about how you've had a very strong family upbringing, like your foundation, the root was very concrete.
Yeah.
And you had a mom who was able to explain a lot of things to you. So, to mothers out there or to families out there, what would you give them advice in terms of what can they do that your mother did? And on top of that, I know albinism is like, most people watching don't understand, can I have albinism? Is it a black thing? Is it a white thing? Do Indians or coloreds have albinism? Palesa, let me allow you to answer that for us, please. Who, Okay,
let me start with the first question. And I'm talking to parents. You need to firstly accept your child for who they are. They are equally talented and they have dreams and goals and aspirations and they just want to live their lives. And it's up to you as a parent to accept your child, because if you don't accept them, it makes it difficult for them to accept themselves. So please love and accept your children as they are. I know it's a shock when you're a mother and you have a child with albinism, you were not expecting it. People are saying it's a curse, people are saying it's something negative, but make a decision with yourself to say that this is a blessing from God and I'm going to cherish this child, accept this child, and raise this child the best way I can with lots of love. That's winning the first battle, right?
Right.
And then regarding if different races can get albinism, there's people with albinism all around the world. It's a genetic thing. So it's not just specific to black people or to white people or to Indian people. It's not race specific. Anybody that has the gene can get albinism, can have children that have albinism. So forget about it being a curse or whatever. It's just something to do with the genes, and it's not a common condition, but it's common in different races and ethnic groups.
Thank you so much for clearing that out. So if you're out there and you're wondering, because of my different race, can I have a child with albinism? The answer is yes. Are you going to struggle when the child comes to life? No. That's why we have Palesa here to show you the future and the possibility of who your daughter or son can be. Palesa, most cases that we have or have done my research, like basically my own personal story, when I was born, the nurse who was delivering me asked my mother, is your husband white? My mom said no, and the nurse was like, look. So in this case, we just talk to parents now to love their kids. So what happens when a woman gives birth and the first reaction from the nurse is, ah, oh my God. What does that parent do then? You know, because I think that's where it starts, from the hospital then to the house. So most women have experienced that. We'll get them on the show to express. But let's say somebody's watching out there and they have that reaction with the nurse. How do they address that situation? Because you're here, you're the voice, you have albinism, and you're showing them that there's nothing wrong. But somebody out there will make it look like something is wrong.
Yeah.
What can they do when that occurs in their life?
Well, all you can do is educate people. Some people are ignorant, but they're not even aware that they're ignorant. You know, sometimes I try to educate people and they say, no, don't worry, I know about albinism. I've got a few friends that have albinism. And that's not how it works. You know, having a few friends doesn't make you an expert on the subject, because you don't know those friends. What's their background? What have they gone through? Or
Yes.
what have they overcome? Have they overcome anything? Do they accept themselves? Do they not? Do they understand their condition?
Right.
So knowing people that have albinism doesn't make you an expert on the subject. It's unfortunate that when you're a first-time mother, if you haven't had anyone that has the condition in your family, it's difficult to address it, right? But if it happens that you have a child that has albinism and you get a different reaction from the doctor, it is your responsibility and duty as a mother to already in that moment stand up for your child and say, this is my child, and my child is a blessing to me, and I love my child, and I would appreciate it if you could treat my child with the respect that you treat other people's children with. Because that's not being aggressive, but it's also showing someone that you need to do a much better job in your profession.
Right.
Yeah.
In terms of the eyesight, right, and education, how did teachers accommodate you with the blackboard?
Oh, they didn't.
No?
No, they didn't. And one thing that I've learned, like I'm doing my post-grad now, right?
Right.
And I remember last week, actually, one of my lecturers made an example that one of the students sent her a very big email calling her all sorts of names, because he always used to sit at the back of the class.
Right.
And he has albinism and he has a sight condition, right?
Right.
So she said, I need you to tell me, because I can't make an assumption.
Right.
Which is true, because let's be honest, what if I don't have a sight condition and then somebody treats me as if I have a sight condition? Then I'm still going to be offended. So what's important is you need to educate your teachers as well. Okay. So if you see you can't see the blackboard, you have to go to the teacher and say to the teacher, I cannot see the blackboard, therefore I cannot perform in class. Parents, it's very important. Once you have a child with albinism, you can detect when they have a sight issue. It is your responsibility to tell the child to inform their teachers, or to go to the school yourself. Inform the teachers about the condition, because a lot of people don't know much about this condition. So they're just going to treat your child like any other child in class. Ultimately, that's what we want. We want to be treated equally.
Right.
But we also understand that we have challenges that need to be overcome, and we need assistance in certain areas. So we need to be the ones that lead the way and educate people about our condition and what it comes with. So it's very important for parents and for children with albinism to speak out. Because when I finally did speak out,
Yes.
teachers would accommodate me. They would make bigger notes, sometimes too big. You still have to tell them, okay, you've gone overboard now. And then they would ask me to sit in the front of the class, even move a table forward so that I'm
Right.
closer to the blackboard. So it all started to change when I explained to them, because when people see you with glasses, they assume that you're fine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. So basically, once you take the stand to introduce yourself and let the next person know about you and what you need, there is
Yeah.
change.
Yes.
There is, things do get happen, because you just say now, once you expressed yourself, you got what you wanted.
Yeah.
So in most cases, if you're sitting there and you can't see the blackboard, get up and talk to a teacher, and they will accommodate you in the way that you know how to learn.
Yeah.
So I just learned something so important, so educative, and so informative. If you buy your daughter or son, or doesn't matter, son or daughter, or you have albinism and you buy sunscreen, please read the instructions in the back of the bottle. How many times should you apply it? How long does it stay on your skin? Because sometimes we assume we just put it once in the morning and we go with the whole day, and you come back and you burnt and you don't know why. So this amazing, intelligent, beautiful woman just educated me at my voice and everybody in the world. Read what the box says outside the writing.
Yeah.
So with that being said, Palisa, it's that moment we've all been waiting for. Your voice to the universe. Everybody is watching. Some child, some man, some woman, that guy up there trying to commit suicide right now. He's watching you. What is your voice to him? Her, everybody.
In order to do the incredible, one has to dream the impossible. That's one motto I've lived by. And then I thought about this word impossible. And I don't like negative words. So I thought, how do we change this word impossible into something positive? And I looked at it and I thought, if you just take the I and the M and put an apostrophe between them, space the M and the P, you have I'm possible. So if I'm possible, what is impossible? In a world where we're so prone to negativity, I'm surprised because negativity requires positivity to exist. Think about it this way. The word can't needs the word can. The word impossible needs the word possible. Even the word funeral starts with fun. So life is positive. We just choose to gravitate towards negativity. So, in order to do the incredible, one has to dream the impossible. Believe in possibilities. You can do anything you put your mind to. Anything.
Wow. You can do anything. Make the impossible possible. From my voice, we're here to give you all the information and let you know that it's not about the words. It's not about saying you can. She is living proof. She's here. You see her. Follow her on her social media. Follow our motivational talks and you could be the next president, next lawyer. Make the impossible possible. So it's that time of the show where we get to see Palisa live in the limelight. So ladies and gentlemen, from Regina Mary, we've been happy to have Palisa on our show. Thank you so much for coming. We're about to say goodbye.
Thank you so much for having me, Regina Mary. And thank you to your audience for listening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Can I just have this awesome hug? I'm so, wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't hold me down, beat me against the concrete floors, doesn't hit me with concrete thoughts as he slams the bedroom doors. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't deliver fists as gifts that fit my tits, no, feeds the kids with love from lips, doesn't take my hints not to break my ribs. He's got skills, but kills emotions when he breathes from gills. He doesn't love me no more. See, I was the type that used to brag to friends about his jealousy, his strength, and the power of his hands. So his hands transformed into fists. Fists that tore me into bits. Bits that disfigured my body, kids. His hands transformed into fists that stole the beauty of my youth. They beat, bruised, abused, and used my face as a comfort zone. His rage landed on my ribcage. But I wasn't on the same page, so his hands landed on my ribcage. I told friends that this was love, but they weren't on the same page. They said, "Dump the bloody bastard. He's got rage, and like an animal, he belongs inside of a cage." No, I said. He's my man, and without him I'd go mad, and he didn't get love from an early age. My excuses made him an exclusive explosive in my existence. But my persistence will ensure that women like me face extinction. If beating a woman was a test, this man passed it with a distinction. Every night, neighbors had front row seats. If they missed it today, tomorrow the movie repeats. This piece depicts how on a daily basis a woman's life depletes. How the cycle of her life becomes complete. But maybe, just maybe, had Eve aborted, then the Cains in us never would have existed. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't love me no more. He doesn't love me no more.